The morning sun spilled across the marble floors of a prestigious downtown bank, a place where power wore suits and arrogance had a smile. A woman walked in, calm but confident, her steps echoing softly against the silence. The teller barely looked up, his smirk already forming before words even left his mouth. To him she didn't belong, not here, not in his world. He chuckled, dismissing her with the casual cruelty of someone who thought they mattered. But then, she said something that made the entire bank go silent. He didn't know it yet, but his world was about to turn upside down. Her name was Danielle Carter, a woman who had spent her life fighting uphill battles. Raised by a mother who worked 3 jobs, Danielle learned early that respect wasn't given. It was earned. She had built her career piece by piece, from working behind a teller window to running financial programs for underserved communities. Now, after years of sleepless nights, rejection letters, and quiet determination, Danielle was walking into the same bank that once denied her a loan, to buy it. But no one there knew. Not yet. The branch was busy. Businessmen checking balances, customers filling out slips, tellers flashing routine smiles. Yet when Danielle approached, the man behind the counter barely hid his disdain. His tone was sharp, his eyes judgmental. The other customers noticed. A few looked away awkwardly. Danielle stayed calm. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. Grace isn't weakness. But deep down, the sting burned. Years of silent bias resurfaced in that single moment. Still, she kept her composure. She was here on business, and this would be the last day anyone would underestimate her. Every second built tension. Every glare from the teller added weight to the silence, and every heartbeat brought her closer to revealing who she really was. The teller scoffed when she requested to speak with the branch manager. He assumed she was there to complain or request a favor, not realizing the papers in her briefcase would soon decide his fate. Danielle watched the small displays of arrogance with quiet patience. She had seen it before, the smirks, the condescending tone, the whispered laughter behind closed doors. But this time, she had the power. She handed over a sealed envelope. The teller, still dismissive, passed it on without even glancing. Seconds later, the manager appeared, his expression shifting from routine politeness to shock as he scanned the document. Every eye in the room turned toward Danielle. The teller frowned, confused by the sudden tension. The manager straightened his tie and addressed her with a newfound respect that bordered on fear. Danielle stood still, poised. Her silence spoke louder than any confrontation could. The whispers began. Something was happening, something big. The teller's smirk faded when the manager asked him to step aside. He hesitated, confused. And then he saw it. His own name on the termination list at the bottom of that document. The power balance had shifted completely. The entire bank froze. The air thickened with disbelief. Danielle finally spoke, her voice calm but commanding. The document was official. The bank had been acquired by Carter Financial Holdings. She wasn't there as a customer. She was there as the new owner. The same teller who mocked her just minutes ago now stood trembling, face pale, realization sinking like ice into his chest. Cameras caught the moment, her composed smile, the silence of the crowd, and the humbling expression of a man who had just learned the cost of prejudice. She didn't gloat. She didn't need to. Her victory wasn't loud. It was powerful in its quietness. Every eye in the room watched as she turned to the stunned employees and simply said, "Let's rebuild this place." With respect. In that instant, the entire bank understood what true leadership looked like. Days later, the story spread across social media. The woman who bought the bank that rejected her. But Danielle didn't chase fame. Her focus was bigger, transforming the system that once shut its doors on her. Under her leadership, hiring policies changed. Training programs focused on empathy and inclusion. The same building that once symbolized exclusion now stood for opportunity. As for the teller, he was never publicly shamed, but he learned his lesson in the quiet weight of his own regret. Danielle visited the branch often, not to boast, but to mentor young tellers, reminding them that kindness costs nothing, yet changes everything. The camera fades on her walking through the same marble floors. This time her heels echo with pride, not defiance. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't loud, it's simply walking into the room they said you'd never belong in, and owning it.